Long before the atom bombs were dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, there were victims of the atomic bomb, long before the Japanese felt what was coming for them. The first true casualties of nuclear power weren't even on the other side of the world. They were right here in America. In July of 1945, a group of 13-year-old girls went camping by the river in Ruidoso, New Mexico. They were innocent, carefree, just a bunch of kids on a summer day. Among them was Barbara Kent, the girl in the front of the photograph. They swam, they played, they laughed. What they didn't know was that not far away, the US military was preparing to test something they couldn't have even imagined: a nuclear bomb as part of the Manhattan Project. Then, in an instant, everything changed. Barbara later recalled, "We were all just shocked. Then suddenly, there was a big cloud above us and strange lights in the sky. It even hurt our eyes to look up. The whole sky looked strange, like the sun came out all at once, but really bright." That bright flash, it was the first test of the atomic bomb, detonated at 5:29 a.m., 40 miles away in the Jornada del Muerto Valley. But the girls, still oblivious, had no idea. Hours later, white flakes began to fall from the sky. The girls thought it was snow, took it as a curious gift of the summer. They were 13, full of innocence, and they rushed to collect the flakes, slathering them on their faces. Barbara said, "We grabbed the white stuff and put it on our faces, but instead of being cold like snow, it was hot. We just thought it was hot because it was summer. We were only 13. The test had been done on a tower, 100 feet high, chosen because it was believed to be remote, far from civilization. But civilization was closer than they thought. Thousands of people lived nearby, some just 12 miles away. And those girls, those young girls, were unknowingly at the epicenter of a deadly storm. Every girl in that photo died before they turned 30. Every single one. All of them got cancer. Every single one. Except Barbara. She lived longer. But cancer wasn't done with her. It came back, again and again. People remember the horrors of the bombs dropped on Japan, but how many remember the deadly cost of the very first tests, right here on American soil? The men who worked on it didn't know what they were unleashing. One of them, Dapo Michaels, was so haunted by the consequences that it drove him mad. He became ill, mentally and physically, and died in a hospital just years later. And the same happened in Maralinga, Australia. Aboriginal communities were exposed to the fallout of British nuclear tests, but their deaths caused by radiation were never tracked. We may never know the true toll. This isn't just history. This is the tragic reality of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, caught in the invisible storm of progress, with no warning, no escape. A cautionary tale of what happens when science outruns humanity. It began like any other night of laughter and luxury, in Moscow's glittering influencer scene. February 2020, a birthday bash for Yekaterina Didenko, a young mother and pharmacist turned Instagram celebrity, adored by over 1 million followers. The venue, a sleek private pool complex in the city's south. The plan? To turn the pool into a spectacle of mist and magic. A viral moment no one would ever forget. But as the cameras flashed and the music thumped, the celebration turned into chaos. In an attempt to create a smoky visual effect, partygoers dumped 25 kilograms of dry ice into the pool, unaware that this harmless-looking party trick was about to unleash a silent killer. Dry ice, frozen carbon dioxide chilled to a deadly -78 degrees Celsius, doesn't melt. It sublimates, turning straight into gas, flooding the air with invisible clouds of suffocating CO2. Within moments, the fog effect transformed into a toxic shroud. One by one, guests began gasping for air, collapsing, choking. The screams and laughter dissolved into horror. Among the fallen was Didenko's own husband, his life claimed by the deadly vapors swirling beneath the surface of the pool. Hours later, the news broke on Instagram. 3 people dead at a birthday party gone catastrophically wrong. The internet exploded. Disbelief, outrage, morbid curiosity. And then came the tears. On camera, Yekaterina Didenko appeared before her followers, face streaked with mascara, voice trembling, recounting the nightmare in real time. But sympathy turned to backlash as Russian media and bloggers accused her of exploiting the tragedy for clicks and views. Behind the influencer's curated posts and pastel filters lay a cautionary tale of fame, folly, and fatal science. A moment meant for likes that ended in loss. The birthday that was supposed to make her go viral did, but for all the wrong reasons. It began as a modern love story, or at least it looked like one. December 2018. A 22-year-old woman from Essex, England, Grace Millane, backpacking her way around the world, chasing sunsets, stories, and freedom. Her next stop, Auckland, New Zealand, the city of sails, a place that felt safe, open, and alive. And then, a match on Tinder. A swipe to the right. Flirty messages exchanged and a date set. Grace met a man through Tinder. He was charming, talkative, and, at first glance, ordinary. They drank, they laughed, they kissed under neon lights. Security footage later captured it all. 2 strangers wrapped in each other's arms. But that night would not end in romance. It would end in tragedy. According to prosecutors, the man, 27 years old, his name suppressed by law, took Grace back to his apartment. What happened next, he would call rough sex. The Crown called it murder. Sometime between December the 1st and the 2nd, Grace's 22nd birthday, she died. Strangled. The man told police it was an accident. He said they'd been drinking, that things got intense, that he fell asleep in the shower. When he woke up, she was lifeless. But the evidence told another story. Grace's body bore bruises of restraint. On her arms, her chest, her neck. And after she died, the man didn't call for help. Instead, he searched online for pornography, took intimate photographs of her body, and then searched for rigor mortis and for large bags near me. The next day, Grace Millane, bright young loved and rough sex enthusiast, was gone. Her body would be found a week later, folded into a suitcase, buried in the damp forest earth outside Auckland. And as the world mourned, a chilling question echoed across continents. Was this a tragic accident, born of dangerous desire? How far can you go rough in bed before it becomes a threat to life? Because in the digital age of dating, where strangers meet in seconds and intimacy is traded like currency, one truth remains. Not every match is made in heaven. It was supposed to be just another night. A celebration, a wedding, a few drinks, and a drive home under the velvet skies of rural India. But for Prabhu Batara, the night would end in blood, screams, and a viral nightmare. As he pulled over on the side of a lonely forest road to relieve himself, fate and folly collided in a single, tragic decision. There, in the shadows, lay a wounded bear, massive, breathing heavily, its fur matted with dirt and blood. Most people would have turned away. Prabhu saw an opportunity. He reached for his phone. The camera opened. The frame was perfect. The caption already writing itself in his mind. With a wild bear, once in a lifetime. But before he could press the shutter, the bear moved. A low growl turned into a roar. And then, chaos. Prabhu's laughter twisted into a scream as the beast lunged, dragging him to the ground. A stray dog nearby barked and charged, desperate to save him. But it was no match. The entire attack, the violence, the horror, the silence that followed, was caught on camera by a bystander. Within hours, the footage flooded the internet. Within days, it became another cautionary tale of vanity gone viral. Officials confirmed it was not the first. That year alone, 3 lives in the region were claimed by wild animals, each one chasing the same thing. A selfie worth sharing. A 50-year-old man crushed by an elephant. A young man trampled in front of friends, phone still in hand. And now, the man who tried to smile with a bear. In a world where danger has become a backdrop and death a click away, one question echoes through the forests of India. How far will we go for the perfect picture?